Over the past few weeks, I've been taking the sauna basically every day, and it's very useful, especially during the flu season. But what if you don't have access to a sauna? You don't have a sauna at your home, and the public spas and saunas, they're all closed down. So what do you do then? This video talks about how to get the benefits of sauna without the sauna. It's about the things that mimic sauna, so you can still take the sauna if you don't have a sauna.
Come with me if you want to live.
Here are some of the benefits of sauna. It improves cardiovascular health and lowers heart rate, better blood circulation and blood flow to skeletal muscle. It promotes physical endurance by increasing the heart's stroke volume, strengthens the immune system and increases white blood cell count, flushes the lymph system from toxins and pathogens, clears the skin and maintains youthfulness, lowers risk of dementia and Alzheimer's. Using the sauna 4 to 7 times a week is associated with a 40% reduced risk of all-cause mortality. Strengthens the immune system and increases white blood cell count. Regular sauna reduces the incidence of common colds. Sauna use reduces the risk of respiratory diseases like pneumonia. The World Health Organization has stated that heat at 56 Celsius kills the SARS coronavirus at around 10,000 units per 15 minutes, which is a very significantly rapid reduction. At room temperature, the virus can remain stable for 1 to 2 days, and for 21 days at 4 degrees Celsius. Although the sauna isn't going to raise the temperature inside your lungs, it can still speed up the destruction of the virus by activating the body's own defense systems. During the 2003 SARS pandemic, a Hong Kong doctor noted that higher body temperatures may kill the coronavirus. They saw that patients who had a temperature above 37 degrees Celsius saw a milder immune response, and they recovered faster compared to those who were below 36 Celsius. A higher fever can kill viruses, which is why it's recommended to not use fever-lowering medication. It's the body's response to dealing with infection. When your body gets exposed to the heat or stress, it upregulates a family of proteins called heat shock proteins. They help the body to respond and adapt to the stress. Heat shock proteins prevent the accumulation of free radicals and cellular damage. They repair damaged misfolded proteins by promoting autophagy. Heat shock proteins also promote cellular antioxidant capacity with glutathione and stimulate immune receptors. Heat shock protein mediated heat exposure has been shown to increase the lifespan of flies and worms up to 15%. A lot of the health benefits of the sauna come from the activation of these heat shock proteins, and they essentially start repairing the body and adapting it to the stress. So if you were to want to mimic a sauna experience, then you would want to kind of turn on the heat shock proteins as well. So here are some ways of turning on the heat shock proteins. Higher body temperature. As was shown by the SARS study, a higher temperature can accelerate the killing of viruses. Heat shock proteins will be recruited in response to rising heat stress. Having a fever isn't the same as taking a sauna, but a higher body temperature would increase the basal heat shock protein response. You can turn up the heating in your house and wear warmer clothes. A faster metabolic rate will also raise body temperature and energy expenditure. Physical exercise. The body turns on heat shock proteins during exercise, and they're needed to gain the benefits from exercise. Both cardio and resistance training will do. Cardio ends up raising your body temperature and promotes sweating, while submaximal resistance training stimulates heat shock proteins in the muscle and can improve insulin resistance. Eccentric contractions, such as the negative portion of the lift or running, they've been shown to increase more heat shock proteins. You should do something physical for at least 30 minutes a day and get a sweat on. If you don't have access to a gym, you can do calisthenics, blood flow restriction training, or jumping jacks in one place. Blood flow restriction training. Using bands that restrict some of the blood flow in your limbs, you can trick the body into thinking it's lifting heavier weights than you really are. Traditional resistance training requires you to work out at 70 to 80% of your maximum, but with BFR, you can reach the threshold at 20 to 30% intensities. That's an amazing tool for at-home workouts. They've been also shown to promote stem cells, accelerate recovery, release growth hormone and heat shock proteins. I'm using the Katsu Cycle training bands for both my arms and feet. Contracting the muscle near your maximum effort releases heat shock proteins and raises body temperature. That's why doing yoga or calisthenics is a simple way of getting similar benefits from less time. You can hold planks, front levers, deep lunges, horse stance, planches, etc. If you take it to near failure and end up holding a position for about 30 to 60 seconds, then you'll start to sweat and it's also going to generate more heat. Longer fasting. Fasting increases heat shock proteins in response to the stress. It also improves lipid profile and lowers triglycerides. Although your metabolic rate may drop slightly during the fast, you'll experience a higher rebound after breaking the fast. Doing some time restricted eating will also promote heat shock proteins during the fasted state. Water deprivation. Dehydration causes heat stress and upregulates autophagy by inhibiting mTOR signaling. I'm not specifically recommending you do dry fasting, but it can still turn on heat shock proteins without exercise or without taking a sauna. So you can think of it as a shortcut for getting the benefits of the heat and exercise in situations where you don't have access to those things. Sun exposure. UV light stimulates heat shock proteins in a dose-dependent manner. Higher intensities release more because the body tries to protect itself and repair the damage. Regular walking outside and getting exposed to the sun will not lead to an overexpression or damage, but sunbathing might. Spicy food and spices. Different herbs and spices like cayenne pepper, curry, peppers, ginger, ginseng, and garlic can raise your metabolic rate and body temperature. That's an indirect way of boosting some heat shock proteins as well. Using spices as seasoning on food will definitely make you hot, and it can even make you sweat. Sauna and hot baths. Exposure to higher temperatures than normal will upregulate heat shock proteins. I myself think that it will do so in a linear fashion, meaning higher temperatures will lead to more heat shock proteins, but more isn't always better because it can just burn. Anything that involves some aspect of heat stress is going to activate heat shock proteins almost in a dose specific manner. So if you're just sweating a little bit, then that is going to promote some of the aspects of heat shock proteins. But if you go to a real sauna, then the effect is going to be much higher. But any form of heat stress, whether that be from exercise, isometric contractions, dehydration, or even just taking some spicy foods, then it will have like a slight heat shock protein response, and you gain some of the benefits in terms of boosting your metabolic rate, raising your body temperature, and therefore strengthening the immune system in so doing as well.
It's like a sauna in here.
Here are some ways of getting the benefits of the sauna without the sauna. Get an infrared sauna. When traditional oven saunas heat the air around you, then infrared saunas direct red light wavelengths deep into your tissue. They're going to penetrate deeper into the body and stimulate collagen synthesis, mitochondrial biogenesis, reduce inflammation, detoxification, and heat adaptation. Most infrared saunas reach a temperature of 60 degrees Celsius, which is just enough to induce mild heat stress and kill viruses. Red light therapy. Red light therapy devices also create mild UV light and heat stress. The red wavelengths have a similar benefit as infrared saunas, but with less heat. Your body does warm up when you stand in front of the device, but not to the extent of making you sweat profusely. Third, at-home circuit workouts. If you can't go to the gym, then you can still do bodyweight exercises to raise your body temperature and make you sweat. In general, I think it's a good idea to try to raise your body temperature at least a few times per day, whether that be by consuming some spicy foods, whether that be by drinking coffee, whether that be by drinking tea, whether that be by exercising, whether that be by taking a sauna, whatever it is. If you want to know how to optimize these different pathways like heat shock proteins and autophagy, then check out my book Metabolic Autophagy. But other than that, thanks for watching this video. Make sure you click the like, subscribe, notification bell as well. My name is Seem. Stay optimized, stay empowered.